right, everybody, welcome to NorCal Sports Network. And this is the same hat that Brock Purdy's dad wears. Chat loves it when Marty Lurie comes on.
Anytime you lose a game this time of year, when you can't go backwards, it's a problem.
All right, everybody, welcome on in to NorCal Sports Network. You just watched a thriller of a ball game, if you watched it at all. Man, Milwaukee had their chances in the bottom of the ninth. We'll talk about it. Bryce Terang, you got to let that ball hit you in the leg. Take one for the team. Tie the game up. But it's not to be. Great pitchers duel. Blake Snell was unreal. We'll talk about it. Let's break it all down. But first, let us thank our sponsor of this show. That is Chapman Law Group. Chapman Law Group, located in Marin, licensed all of California. Make sure you give Chapman Law Group a call for all your legal needs. You got a personal injury situation? Make sure you call Chapman Law Group, 415-613-9483. Let them know NorCal Sports Network sent you. Remember, don't settle with an insurance company before contacting Chapman Law Group, as you may be leaving thousands of dollars on the table. All right, we may be joined by Dallas here shortly. I'm not sure what his schedule is tonight, but what a ball game, everybody. Dodgers get it done 2-1. Blake Snell was unreal, goes 8 innings, faces the minimum, 24 batters, gives up 1 hit, 10 strikeouts, no walks. You can't ask for anything better than that unless he doesn't give up a hit, but he faced the minimum. So it's just practically just as good. Yep, that was the perfect pitch. Mark Graves says that, what was that going to be? I think that was a 1-1 pitch or 1-2 pitch, whatever it was. It would have been, because it was, I think there was 2 balls on him, but he had, he ended up swinging at the pitch above the strike zone on a 2-2 pitch, I believe it was. Terang got a little anxious. I mean, he usually doesn't go up that high for that. That ball was way high. He was sitting fastball, and he saw fastball, and he went up and tried to, make contact, obviously. And but what a game. I mean, if you just love baseball, watching baseball, I mean, Dodgers are resilient. This is, a battle-tested team that, you got to give credit to. Freddie Freeman, the guy's clutch. He comes up big time with a solo homer. And then, the game was really lost in the top of the ninth. Abner Uribe, a little bit wild, couldn't get the ball over the plate. And he walked in an insurance run to make it 2-0 Dodgers. Equally, Roki Sasaki, he looked a little shaken out there. He looked like maybe the moment might be a little too much pressure for him. You wonder if what this kid is going to be able to do. He's a young kid. He's got unbelievable stuff. And he looked nervous to me. I saw a little sweat coming out of his, the brow area. He just looked like he was tense. He looked like he was more or less pushing the ball instead of, pitching it. He looked like he was just trying to aim it. And Dave Roberts took him out, went with the veteran, Blake Trinan. So the Blakes get it done. Blake gets the win. Blake gets the save. Blake Snell with the win. Blake Trinan with the save. And 2-1 Dodgers. And, I don't know how Milwaukee can beat them if you get pitching performances like that tonight, I mean, that was an incredible performance. The Dodgers are just loaded. I mean, let's be honest. They are loaded when it comes to starting pitching. I mean, tomorrow they got Yoshib. I always mispronounce his first name. Shinobu Yamamoto. Whatever. Yamamoto. I'll just call him YY. YY goes tomorrow, and you're going up against Freddie Peralta. All right. So it's a good pitching matchup. And it was, the Brewers don't have near the pitching staff that the Dodgers have. The Dodgers can throw out 4 starters, and they could throw out 5 or 6 if they really wanted to. But you only need 4 in a series of 7 games because you've got 2 games, and then you got a day off, and then you got 3 games. So your day 1 starter, which is Blake Snell, will be set to go in game 5 for the Dodgers. And that game 5 is Saturday. So today's Monday, right? So he's got Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. He's got 4 days rest to pitch on Saturday. We welcome in Dallas to the show. Welcome, Dallas.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. So I was just saying the Dodgers pitching is it's going to be tough for the Brewers to knock them out. Tomorrow's Yamamoto, and then you get a day off on Wednesday. Thursday is, not Thursday. Tomorrow is what? Tuesday? Day off Wednesday. Thursday, you could go with probably Ohtani. Friday, you could go with Glasnow. And Saturday, you are back to Blake Snell. And then you get a day off on Sunday if it happens to go 6 or 7. And then you got Yamamoto set up for game 6. And game 7's Ohtani. It's like,
well, they have enough. They have plenty of pitching.
Yeah. And then they still got Sheehan and Glasnow that can go in, follow Ohtani in game 7.
Right.
And you could probably get a couple of innings out of Snell at that point. Well, maybe. We'll see. But yeah, it's hey, look, I know we got some Dodger fans in here, but the majority of the fans are Giants fans and are rooting hard against the Dodgers. But look, I'm not a Homer Network, okay? I'm not going to sit here and rip the Dodgers. I'll rip them, but I'm not going to tell you that they're not the really super strong team.
And the Bears beat the Commanders.
Was it on a Moody field goal?
Yeah.
4 for 4? Did he end up going 4 for 4?
I think so. Let me check.
Jake Moody. Let me look. 25-24. I'm just looking here. Play-by-play. I meant to turn that game on. Field goal.
Yeah, 4 for 5.
4 for 5.
Yeah.
What was the one he missed? Hopefully it was over 50. Oh, it was blocked. He got a blocked field goal. Or did the Bears
His long was 48.
Okay. All right. 4 for 5 point. Yeah. All right. So Bears beat the Redskins 25-24. That kind of helps the 49ers in a way, because I think the Redskins will be one of those teams that's going to be competing for one of the playoff spots. All right. So we got some Moody fans in there. Moody did it. Moody field goal. Yeah, good old Jake Moody. Good. Hey, you know what? Good for him. Good for him.
And the Falcons beat the Bills, giving them some confidence going into the 49er game.
MF Apazis asks a question. You'll have to ask him, MF. I have no idea. So
I certainly hope not.
Leave it at that. What's that?
If Lou has opted out, he's my favorite host on this show. No offense to you, Dan.
No offense. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, he's whatever he wants to do, he can do. It's a free country, right? So anyway, nothing but, good stuff to say for Lou. All right. But anyway, guys, you're going to get, top-notch coverage here with Dallas and myself and the guests that we bring in. This is the winning baseball channel right here, North Cal Sports Network. We'll just leave it at that. All right. Anyway, what else do we got? American League game we covered a little bit earlier today, guys. The Mariners routed the Blue Jays, and all they got to do is win 2 of the next 3 at home, and they don't have to go back to Canada, which I'm sure they don't want to go back. Not just because they got to go on the road, but you got to go through customs, and it's a long trip, and you're better off just staying at home and finishing off the Canadians. All right? That's how I look at it. Just finish them off. But back to the Dodger game. This was a quick game tonight. I mean, game started at 5:08, was over a few minutes after 8. Quick game for playoffs because these games have been going over 3 hours. So, I think this series, I think the Brewers can hang with them, but they're going to have to hit. And you got bamboozled. You got shut down tonight by Blake Snell. And, man, I don't know, Dallas. What do you have to say about Blake Snell? He is, when he's on,
great.
When he's on, he is as good as Tariq Skubal and Paul Skeens.
Oh, when he's on, he's the best. I mean, we saw him pitch a no-hitter last year.
Right.
I mean, and this year, he just took his time and got healthy, and he wasn't pushing himself at all until the playoffs. And now he goes 8 innings. How many times did he go 8 innings with the Giants?
Yeah.
I mean, 8 innings, 1 hit, 10 Ks. That's perfect. I mean, it's as close to perfect as you can get. So that was a really good performance. And then they, cleaned it up with
about as perfect as you
bullpen.
get. He faced the minimum. He faced 24 men, and that's it. 8 innings. That's the most you can face. He faced, I think he gave up 1 hit, and then I was watching some football early on, and so I didn't see the beginning of the game when he gave up the hit. I'm assuming he got doubled off on a double play, or
Yeah.
was it a double play or caught stealing? One of the two.
I don't see a caught stealing. There was 2 double plays in the game, Betts and Muncy, so it must have been.
Oh, speaking of double plays, maybe the double play, the most unique, zany, wildest, craziest double play I've ever seen. I think it is in terms of me watching baseball. I don't know if it's the craziest double play in the history of the game before television, but what did you see that live?
No, I didn't.
Okay, bases are loaded. I wish I could show it to you. It's on my Twitter page. It's a 2-minute video. I can't put it on here because we'll get demonetized. But here's what it was. Deep fly ball by Max Muncy. It looks like it's got a chance to go out of the park for a grand slam. Sal Frelick leaps at the wall. It goes off of his glove. All right, Dallas?
I'm
goes
watching it
off
right now.
of his glove. It comes down and hits the fence. And then he catches it in his glove. Teoscar Hernandez goes back. He kind of took off. Then he went back to the bag, tagged up. They threw it to the plate and forced him out because it's considered a hit. And he gets forced out at the plate. And because it's a hit, he goes to first base. Everybody else has to advance. But the guy on second, I can't remember who it was, didn't run to third. So Contreras, the catcher, runs and unassisted touches third base for a double play, and the Dodgers don't score. That was unreal. I mean, it was like they had to go through to review to see, to sort it all out. Just wild.
Unbelievable.
I thought,
wow.
Yeah, it was a
forced
play.
inning.
Yeah, it was a forced play at the plate. And Teoscar, I think what confused him was he couldn't tell if it hit the fence, but it doesn't matter if he understood the rule. He could take off as soon as it hits the glove. Otherwise, you could have guys. Hold on, I just dropped the ball out of my glove. I'll show you. Hold on. All right. Got to get my earpiece back on, fell out. All right. So here's why you can take off whenever it hits the glove. All right. It hits the glove, you tag. Why is that? Because you can't wait for the catch because you'd have outfielders going, oops, hit me right in the face. Boom, boom, boom. Walk it into the field, into the infield, right? Keep walking in so you get to the throwing position. Yeah, you can't have that.
Yeah. So once it hits the glove, it's either a catch or it's a hit.
Right, and he should have left.
You can go.
But what he did, what Teoscar did, is it hit the glove and it bounced up, and then he took off and then went back to touch third when he saw him catch it. And that's really on the third base coach as well. Look, he's got to say, go, just keep going. Go, 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 go. Hit the glove. So that's why baseball has that rule. You're out when it touches the back of the glove at first base, right? It's not like as soon as it hits the pocket, out. You're not waiting for him to close the glove or anything like that. So,
crazy.
Yeah, that's the kind of analysis we like to give you here. Give you a little in-depth, a little bit more extra bonus coverage. So that's what happened on that play, which was absolutely bizarre. And, that will go down as a teaching moment for teams when that happens again. Hits the glove and you're on third. Just tag up. Go. Don't worry about if he comes down with it. If he fumbles it. So that was a classic play. And
hopefully Elliot Ramos was watching that, so he'll know for next time.
Yes. Good old Elliot Ramos. But so I'm just going through here, trying to figure out the chat here. One sec here. While we pop, I'm going to see if I can pull up this video off my phone. And if I can pull up I really can't show it anyway, right? Yeah, I was going to try and show it, but even for a sec, I showed something the other night and it was like, nope. Mark says, what did the runner do that was on third? Are you talking about the guy that got thrown out at the plate, Mark? Because
anyone
that
who
was
wants to watch it can just go to Dan's Twitter at
you can go to my
NorCal
Twitter,
Sports
or
NW.
it's all over. It's all over the place as well. But the runner that was on third was Teoscar Hernandez. The runner. Let me see if I can pull up the actual play-by-play and see who was on second base here, and I'll tell you in just a second here.
But even regardless, that was a heck of a throw. Even if he had to go back and tag up again.
Yes, it was
the fact that they had a play on him was just a perfect play.
So what it was is Hernandez was on third, Will Smith was on second, Tommy Edman was on first. Muncy, wait, I got the wrong. Wait a minute. What the heck? That was the fourth inning, right?
Yeah.
All right. They're calling it a grounded into a double play. It was not a grounded into double. It was a 8. I want to say it went to the shortstop. I can't remember if it was Ortiz. Ortiz is the shortstop, right? Ortiz is yes. Okay. So it went 8-6-2, and then 2 unassisted at third base. So what happened, Mark, was the runner, Will Smith, those guys were so confused. They thought it was everybody should have tagged, but Will Smith probably didn't tag because there was one out. He was probably going halfway to see if it fell, then he could still score on the play. And so when he saw that it was caught, he ran back to second, and then he just stayed there thinking it was an out.
Right.
And so did the runner Edman on first. They thought it was an out. But since it hit the wall, it's not a catch. It becomes a hit. So Muncy has to go to first. That means the other 2 runners have to advance. You can't have 2 men occupy base. And
right.
So Contreras, hey, guess what? Another catcher figures out what's going on, right? Another takes a catcher to know what's going on. And he goes down and just wisely tags third base.
Trots over there.
Yeah, just trots down. So that's the way it went. It goes down. Who wasn't tagging to begin with? Are you talking about the guy on third, Mark? Who's on first? It's like Abbott and Costello, wasn't it? Who's on second? I think I'm let me get let me see. What are we play you're talking about? What did the runner do that was on third? He tagged. He tagged up. He thought it was he went back. He initially tagged, and then he started to go, and then he saw the ball come loose, and so he went back to touch third again and tag again when he saw the ball was caught. So he was kind of flat-footed. He was going the wrong way when the throw was being made from Frelick into Ortiz. So he didn't have a great start, and that's why it was a bang-bang force out at the plate. Hernandez is really the one that screwed it up. He's the one that's got to know the rules, that as soon as he sees the ball hit the glove, he's free to leave.
Yeah, but that's why there's the third base coach.
Yes, and the third base coach. Yeah, the third base coach. Now, this is why I say it's a teaching moment.
But it's also hard. Yeah. Yeah, once it hits, it doesn't matter.
Once it hits the glove, the next few nights, the series,
or whatever,
just take off. Hits the glove.
Yep, makes it easy.
JR 500. Let me explain it again. It's when it hits the glove, you're allowed to take off. Why is that? Because you can't have outfielders on a, let's say it's a medium depth, not depth, medium depth fly ball, and it's going to be tough to get him at the plate. So you're camping under it, and you go, and you're struggling with the ball all the time. You're moving in a foot or two every time you're popping the ball in the air, and the guy's waiting for it to take off until it's a firm catch. Well, now the guy's only 200 feet from home plate, and he can throw a strike, and the guy can't tag. So as soon as the ball hits the glove, you can tag up. So that is how baseball works. I knew that rule when I was 9 years old. Why did I learn it when I was 9? Because I had probably one of the best Little League coaches that, since, God rest his soul, Bob Beberg. He sits in he was in the Little League Hall of Fame. He was a manager. How about this, Dallas, for dedication? Guy had no sons, just daughters, but he managed Little League baseball team, the same team, for over 30 years. And he just loved the game of baseball. And he just, the field in Concord, California is Concord, America, is named Beberg Field. He was that good. I sat under him for 4 years. For 3 years, he chewed my ass out. Like, just, I thought, man, this guy's a hard ass. He's just like, but the way he was, he said, if I'm not yelling at you, then I've given up on you.
Mm-hmm.
And it all came to fruition. My 12-year-old year, everything clicked for me. And, I was kind of like the MVP of the team, and it just turned out well. But for 3 years, man, he rode on me. He rode on some of the other guys that were young too, because he drilled fundamentals in you. He just drilled, like, I knew exactly everywhere to move on, wherever every play. What was amazing, it was like a football play when you saw all 9 guys on the field moving. Balls hitting the field, everybody's going somewhere. You didn't dog it. You ran. And if you didn't run, if there was I'm on second base, right? I'm playing second base. There's a ground ball to third and there's nobody on base. I had to run to back up first base, right? And the right fielder was moving, and everybody was moving. And that's why his teams won first place almost every year. Literally almost every season the guy won. He was like, I hate to say it, but he's kind of like the Dodgers, making the playoffs 13 straight years. So, yeah. But what was your overall impression of this game, and do the Brewers have what it takes to still win this series?
Well, do I think they're going to win it? No. But many teams have been down and come back and won series before. So it can happen. But with the way the Dodgers pitching is lined up, it's not really likely. All the Brewers can do is come out and win the next game. And that's all that they have control over. So that they need to do that. And then if they can do that and then do that again, then all of a sudden you've got a series. So it really just, it doesn't look good for them, but you still have to play the games. And if you don't want to, get your golf game going this early, then better show up and play this next game and try and get some runs on the board.
Yeah. Yeah. Jill says, talking about the 2004 Red Sox. 49er Red Zone. Shout out Concord. There you go. Yeah, Concord, unfortunately, not the same as it was when I was growing up, man. Grew up in the 60s. Played Little League Baseball starting in 1969 as an 8-year-old. Early 70s. Used to be able to go up by myself as a 10-year-old to the school, which was my elementary school, which was about 3 to 4 minutes walk for a 10-year-old, 3 minutes. Could run it as a 15-year-old in a minute if you ran, It's pretty close. But used to go up there and shoot hoops till dusk. 10 years old by myself. And then walk home or ride my bike, either way, if I decided to ride my bike. But today, you can't even let your kids in Concord or any other place, for that matter, play in the front yard, your own front yard by themselves without monitoring them. That's how crazy life has become in America.
I mean, that's how it was in the way you described the 60s and 70s is how it was in the 80s also. It's just it's just changed.
It's pretty sad. It's pretty sad, man. I loved my childhood. We would play basketball all basketball season. We used to get guys in high school, and we would go up and we'd play every weekend, or sometimes we'd organize after school. We'd go 5-on-5 full court, and we'd play outdoors in the 8-foot hoops, and we would just have these flying dunks and alley oops, and just a lot of fun. And in baseball season, we were out playing over the line. I don't know what we used to call it, Indian ball or over the line. I don't know what they call it today. And in football season, we were out playing, two-hand touch generally, sometimes little tackle, but most of the time just playing, even got in some street hockey in the gym with a rolling ball, not a flat puck, but a ball that would on the gym floor. Yeah. So was that the time I was strong arming for kids' money? That was a little earlier. I was about third, fourth grade, roughly. Yeah, I used to block the entrance, the gate to the school, to the housing community. There was a little path, and I stood in that path, and I didn't let kids go by on their way home from school without giving me a quarter. I was a bully for a while. Yeah, what a bully, man. I got caught by the principal, ended up having to stay in the principal's office until it was safe for all the kids to get home, and then they let me loose. They let me out, kind of like a tiger in a cage, right? Can you believe that? I was a bully. I used to be in a lot of fights as a kid, and not a fighter now. I don't like to. Yeah, just not worth it, man. Just you want it, you can have it. Unless it's something to do with my family. Don't enter my home where you live. You might face the judge coming at you, the 410. Basically, it's a pistol. It's like a shotgun that sprays, and then I'll pull out the 357 and finish you off if you're still coming toward us. So there we go. Yeah. So, but yeah, you gotta protect your home, right? But
that's
I'm
right.
I'm not looking for trouble. Not looking for trouble. Let me see. I got to turn this air down. I am sweating in here all of a sudden. It's humid here. Hold on here. Let me get. Oh, come on. I hate that when my log in. All right, hold on here. This way I don't have to get out of the chair and go flip the thermostat. I'm just got to have. Did you ever have your Face ID stop working on your iPhone? If you have an iPhone, drives me crazy.
Only if I shave. It takes a couple days for it to figure out how I look again.
Maybe it's because I got my hat on. Oh, there it goes. All right. See? I can just turn that down. What's the temperature right here right now? Oh, 75 and mostly clear. 77 in the house, but I'm going to tap that down to 75 and a little air come on. Man, I get a little warm when I do these shows. I don't know. Maybe it's all the lights in here. I've added lights in this room so that there's more. A new house, right? Look at it. I'll show you. See that center light right there?
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Came with that. That's it. I had to add these two over there and these two behind me. So there's it's like the Four Corners offense of North Carolina, Dean Smith. Yeah, how was I supposed to do a show in here with one light? Then I had to put before I put the lights up in, I had to, put the camera light on your face, and those are hot. So, yeah, talking about the Giants, man, I'll tell you. Hey, speaking of Giants, new manager job opened up today with Mike Schilt retiring from the Padres. What do you think about that, Dallas? Let's spend the rest of our time talking a little Giants baseball before we call it a night. Yeah, the Dodgers winning heats up my house. Oh, geez,
That's
Dodgers.
Interesting.
You know what?
Who do you think it'll be?
Let me say this real quick. If the Dodgers win it all, I'm not going to lose any sleep, okay? My life will continue on with no stoppage. There'll be no mental work stoppages in my life. I learned a long time ago, you have no control over any of this stuff. Just enjoy it. It's entertainment, and it's heartbreaking if your team loses. It's thrilling if your team wins, but it don't change jack diddly squat in your bank account, unless you bet a lot. But it doesn't affect your lifestyle. It doesn't fix your problems. Life goes on. We all have our issues and problems, right? And it's a break from reality, and it gives us joy when we watch our teams win, and it breaks our hearts when we watch them lose. But I tell you what, I've had enough broken hearts over the 70s and 80s. The 80s and 90s were killers for me, with the Niners winning Super Bowl championships and losing a lot more NFC championships than Super Bowls they won. You know how many NFC title games the Niners have been in that they lost? It's like overwhelming. So,
yeah. Yep, that's a good mentality. And I think as you get older, you kind of settle into that mode, maybe.
Yeah, I think so. And I also think the happier you are, more content you are in your life. I found that there's a lot more peace in my life these days than when I was younger. Having a great wife that is very loving and peaceful and puts things in reality helps a ton. You have that joy to look forward to, and you have that relationship. I got grown kids now. I got grandkids. I'm not going to get too bent out of shape over a win or a loss. I'm going to, as they say, my highs are a lot more level and my lows are a lot more level. I don't have these drastic mood swings that I did in my teens and 20s and 30s, even my 40s for a while. But, I would say that the Super Bowl that probably let me down the most was the first one they lost against the Chiefs. Not even the second one was rough too, because it went overtime. But the first one, man, they had it. They had both, but they really had the first one against the Chiefs. And until that,
no, they did. It was like, and I just had no concept that they would lose. I did not think it was even a possibility. I thought they were going to win the whole time and looked like they were. And then to lose, the 49ers to lose a Super Bowl, well, that hadn't happened before.
Yeah. Well, they've lost 3 in a row now. They lost to the Ravens, as 49er Red Zone says, in 2012. That one was tough because they had a chance to win it at the end. All they had to do is punch it in, right? Punch it in.
Yeah. Not too cute.
Yeah, that one hurt too. You know, I still remember the opening kickoff for Baltimore, the second half. The guy runs it all the way back. And if you go look at that play, just go look at the play. And I'm telling you, it was planned by Baltimore special teams coach. Said, just hold. If we get away with it, it's a touchdown. If we get caught, we've got a big lead. We'll get pulled back. We're going to go for the throat. We're going to try and knock them out.
Mm-hmm.
And there are guys literally being held like you're hugging your girlfriend you haven't seen for 3 months. And it's a long embrace.
Yeah. And in the Super Bowl, they're a little more apt to swallow the whistle. You know, they let them play a little more.
Just watch
sometimes
that
they take
play.
it too far.
There's this hole that opens up, and these guys are just wrapped around the guys, holding them. And it's like they just let it go. And, you know, but so that was frustrating. And, you know.
Do you think that the Ravens fire John Harbaugh?
I think if he loses another few more here without a win, what do you do? Do you say, yeah, Gore never got the ball, Philip. You're right. At the end of that game,
I think that a coach that pairs up really nicely with the Baltimore Ravens is Saleh. I think at the end of the season, maybe they go for the swap.
They want Saleh as a defensive coach.
As a defensive head coach. Yeah.
A swap.
No, they fire Harbaugh and hire Saleh.
Okay.
I think his makeup seems like he would be a good fit for the Baltimore Ravens, and we'll see if what happens there. But that's where the tea leaves I'm reading.
Mark is letting the LA fans in the chat have it. Man, you know, yeah, they're not happy people. That's right. Well, I guess they're over here because they realize that, you know, they can come in and more Dodger channels. It's just too big down there with the Dodger channel. Look, one of these days the Giants are going to get there, and we're going to be right on top of it. We're going to be, you know.
Yeah. Right now, I go in those Dodger channels and start talking shit, and then they just laugh me out of the room.
So I don't know. You know, it's going to be over before you know it. Here it is, October 14th today, or 13th? 13th?
13th.
Oh, yeah. Hey, for the Canadians out there, I guess it's your Thanksgiving. It's not really truly a Thanksgiving because you're more or less celebrating the fall rather than, you know, it's not like America's Thanksgiving that the Pilgrims, if you know the story of the Pilgrims, it was all about, there was a lot of thankfulness. Yeah, a lot of trolls. You guys handle them. You handle them. Go ahead and you guys, my chat can take care of these guys. Sammy Hagar birthday. All right. Shout out to Sammy Hagar. He was pretty hot in 1980 when I was graduating high school. Sammy Hagar. I had friends that loved him. He's 78 years old today. Sammy Hagar. Yeah. What was his biggest song? Was it Running with the when he was with Van Halen, or was it Jump? What song? I mean, which song did you like most? Are you
I like Jump.
Go ahead and jump. Yeah. Yeah, he started his solo career when I was in high school. 76 through 87 was his heyday as a solo artist. So my whole high school year, he was, it was my 4 years there. It was, Sammy Hagar, Journey was just getting going. Led Zeppelin. Yeah, he wasn't with Van Halen. He that was his solo career, right? Jump. Pretty sure. Yeah,
No, that's Van Halen.
Or was it?
Yeah.
Okay, that's Van Halen. That's right. That's right.
Oh, but that's a is that a David Lee Roth song?
Is it? I'm not sure.
Yeah, it
I'll have
is.
to look that up. Yeah. So Sammy Hagar. What was his first number one hit? Was what was it?
I Can't Drive 55.
Give to Live. Give to Live. From I Never Said Goodbye. Yeah. Huh. He had 13 number one hits.
And
that was Van Halen. Van Halen was the, yeah.
And he had one number one tequila.
Yeah. So who do you guys like for Journey? Is it Steve Perry or Arnell from the Philippines?
Is there any question?
I don't think so, but I think it's Steve Perry. But Arnell was pretty darn good for coming in when he did. Crazy.
He's still with them, isn't he?
He is. I think he's still there. He almost quit, but they have a demanding tour schedule when they tour. I mean, they're just But
well, you got to make that money while you still can.
Yeah. It's amazing how all these old bands. Yeah, Steve Perry by 100 Miles. Steve Perry was just awesome. I was fortunate enough to see Steve Perry. Why isn't that right there? I saw Steve Perry with Journey in must have been 80, my senior year. Concord Pavilion, might have been 79. Front row seats, center stage. Guy was literally, could see the spit coming out of his mouth as he sang, certain words like the P words, and it's like, it wasn't like loogies landing in the front row, but it was spray, little spray, but never quite reached right below. But the front row seats, they're a little, I'd say a little bit, they left to be desired. You're in this below, you're right even with the stage, the floor. So you're kind of.
Yeah. It depends on how tall the stage is. The bigger the act, the taller the stage is. So
you're kind of like this. You're kind of like this position.
in
See
the
this?
front row. Yeah.
You're looking up, and it's like, their feet are kind of like right at your knees, and then you're kind of looking up.
Generally, I'm standing if I'm down there, standing at the stage. But the sound quality isn't as good in the front row because you're picking up their monitors on the stage and not like the big amps.
Yeah.
So it's hit or miss. And if you're on one side of the stage, you might pick up different sound than the other side. So sound wise, being in the front row is not as good, but it's awesome to be up there. It's really cool. You can't really beat it. Yeah, but yeah, that's cool. Journey at their height. That's a great show.
Yeah. It was a great show. I mean, love Journey. I wonder if Steve Perry will ever like tour with them one more time or something. I've heard there was talk of it, but
I thought he had voice problems.
I think he did. But didn't you love Steve Perry? If you just go to YouTube and check out Steve Perry, just type in Steve Perry San Francisco Giants World Series. It's awesome. It's awesome, man. That place was rocking back then. It's really a shame that they have let it. It's almost like I don't know how to make an analogy, but it's almost like you have this beautiful life. You're in perfect physical health. You're you're cut to the, you look great, and you just let your body go, and you become this fat slob, and you stop, and you start losing your teeth, and you just look like trash, and everybody go, who is that? Oh,
You're saying that's the Giants franchise now?
Yeah, that's Jack Dong's brother, Jake Dong, right? Look at what happened to Jake Dong.
Franchises, though, they go through phases. There's high times and there's bad times, and then there's the times in the middle where they're trying to get back to the good times. So every single franchise is like that in sports. There's always going to be those lulls in between, and we're kind of in one of those now. And hopefully, we're at the point where it's 2008, 2009, and we're starting to see something, And then in couple of years we look back and we can say, oh yeah, look at the stars were beginning to align back then in 2025. So
Mark Graves was at that game. Nice, man. That's great. Everybody was at the games except me in those World Series years. I was down in Arizona. Question: Dan in Dallas, would Snell have re-signed with the Giants if we had Devers and Adames if Buster showed interest? I think you could have had him if you showed interest before the end of the season and gave him the contract that the Dodgers gave him. If you had these other guys. Yeah. They showed no interest.
He had a good relationship with Webb and the rest of the staff, and I think if they had really pushed for it and ponied up the cash, they probably could have got him to stay. But I don't think they wanted him. They wanted him. It's just too risky with the injuries, and then I really do think that Buster didn't like that he didn't play. He just sat out the last game of the season. I think that rubbed him the wrong way.
It may have, but I'll tell you what. If I was Blake Snell and the Giants had showed no interest in me prior to the last, I pitched a no-hitter for you. I was the best pitcher in the second half in baseball, and you haven't even talked to me about an extension. I'm not wasting the last game of the season and possibly blowing my arm out and losing $150 million. I don't care what.
You can't go out and pitch 3 innings?
No. Absolutely not. I'm taking care of my family. I'm not going to screw around. If you're not going to sign me or offer me any kind of extension, and
But
I'm
you're
a
not going
free
to take the
agent,
extension because you're a
what's
Scott
that?
Boras client. You're going to go to free agency 100%. There's no way you
Matt
sign an
Chapman took
extension.
it. Matt Chapman was a Boris client. He took it.
Different ball game. The Giants are overpaying for this guy, and he wants to stay, and so he did it. And they signed him for 7 years or whatever.
Look, I'm not a Blake Snell fan. But I don't blame him one iota for not pitching for a below 500 team. What does he get out of it? What's the benefit? What happens if he blows his arm out and he has to have Tommy John and he doesn't, no one's signing him?
Well, he's going to blow his arm out the next season. You never know. You could blow your arm out any single game.
But that's the last game of the season. You take that, you go get your money, and then if you blow your arm out in the first game of the next season, so be it. But you got your money. You're in the game because you love the game, but let's be honest.
No, but you're also getting a check. You're getting paid $2.1 million for that game.
To pitch the last game of the season?
Yeah.
Because he's 30.
Over 22 starts or whatever. He's making $2.1 million a game. I don't know what the math is, but it's somewhere around there. 1.9. I don't know what it is. You're a professional. You're getting paid. You don't have to pitch that deep in the game. It's a meaningless game.
I wouldn't
take the ball, start, pitch 2-3 innings.
Look, I am conservative by nature when it comes to a lot of things.
The Giants were out of it the start before, though. So why didn't he sit that one out also?
Let me give you an example. Last year, in our fantasy baseball league, I had won the league first place, and it was categories. There was 10 categories, and one of them was whip. And I saw that the guy that could beat me was out of innings, so he was locked in. And I had a bunch of guys I could have pitched the last day, but I sat my entire pitching so that my whip did not go worse. So I guaranteed myself first place. Now,
yeah, this is fantasy.
Right. But you're talking real life here with a dude's arm. That what is it? Your ulnar nerve, or what do they call that? What is the ligament that goes out with Tommy John whenever they have whatever it is in the elbow? That elbow goes bad, you're costing yourself $150 million.
So then why did he pitch the previous game?
I think they still had opportunity to, if I recall, 5-6 games, I don't know. It was the last game of the season, right? We're talking about the very last game of the season.
Last game.
Yeah. Last game of the season is the last 2-3 games. If you look, this happens every year with almost every team. Guys just stop. They just don't pitch. Happens. A lot of guys sit. Like Epo, of course, it's 2 million versus 150 million. Really, seriously, if the now, if the Giants were showing him love and acting like they wanted him back, you go do that. But if they're not interested in you coming back, why are you going to give to a team that's under 500 that showed you nothing?
Because they're paying you. You're a professional. That's why.
Snell didn't give up his paycheck. Phillips says, I agree, Dallas. The optics are pretty bad not to play. Imagine if Ted Williams didn't play because he was going for 400 players play. Bottom line, it's called integrity. I hear everybody, and I get that. But I'm looking at that paycheck, man. Now, I think if there was the game meant something, I don't think Snell sits on the bench. But it's a meaningless
I would
game.
sure hope not.
No, I don't think he proved himself that he was pitching well.
I'm saying if you're so much of a pussy you can't go out there and pitch 2-3 innings, then fuck you. Get out of here.
I hear you. And there's a lot of people that don't like Snell because of it. And I totally understand that. And
now, do I want him on the Giants if they could sign him this year? Yeah, sure.
yeah, I mean, I totally get it. I totally get it.
It's some sour grapes on my part. I mean, he's gone. Now he's pitching it for the arch rivals, and he's pitching lights out in the playoffs, and they're going to go win the World Series. It sucks. But, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I understand both sides, I guess.
I thought Webb wouldn't pitch. Why get hurt for nothing? Dallas has kept his reason the same. I respect that, Dallas. All right, very good. Beto says he probably noticed this organization was nowhere close to how professional the Dodgers and other organizations handle the business. Just my own take. We've got a lot of people commenting on this. This seems to have hit a button. Buster has the nerve to have an issue with Snell missing the last game when he bowed out during COVID year, when we would have made the playoffs if he played. Can't have double standards. That's interesting. Yeah, Buster took COVID off because he had a couple of kids that he had just adopted, twins, and decided that it was too much risk for him playing and possibly being exposing young kids. But yeah, Giants went like 30-30 or something like that, and missed the playoffs, the last game of the season. All they had to do is win one of the last two against San Diego, and they get into those whatever stupid playoffs that was a joke anyway. Mark Graves says Sammy's biggest hit was sung by Rick Springfield, song I've Done Everything for You. He plays Cabo every year during his birthday week. All right, Cabo.
Buster Posey didn't take a paycheck in 2020. And that was decided before the season, before he didn't commit to them for that season. He opted out and made a personal decision. So I do see the relation there, but it's not apples to apples.
Yeah, a lot of people. You know what? Yeah, Posey didn't get paid. Yeah, or did he? Or did he get paid for? I don't know.
He didn't.
NorCal Sports Talk Live says left-handed starters are worth their weight in gold in the National League West. Not bringing back Snell ended up being the difference. Yeah, I think the Giants just didn't want him back. And, man, you could have had Snell, Ray, and Webb this year. What a difference that would have made. I think ownership got cheap. They didn't want to ante up for the money.
I mean, it still remains to be seen because, I mean, what's his contract? $182 million, 5 years. That's a lot of money to play for a pitcher, especially one that has had his injury problems.
What is that, 35 a year, roughly? 36, 35, 36, something like that.
36.
Yeah.
That's a lot of money. And if he gets hurt, which happens with Snell, it could be risky. Now, the Dodgers don't care about losing money. You know, they're paying more in salary tax than the Brewers are on their whole payroll. So it's just a little bit different math for them.
Yeah. Philip says that's a great point. Kids were basically untouched when it came to the flu. I mean, COVID. Yeah.
There's also, hindsight 2020 on that. It was a little more unknown at the time. We didn't know exactly what we were dealing with. So I defend Posey on that, and he forfeited his $8 million prorated salary for that season.
Well, when did let's see, that was 2020. Yeah, because that was right at the beginning of it when February was catchers and pitchers report, and they start. You know what? That was the year. I don't know if I have it in here. I think I've showed you guys the Mad Bum plate, right? The Arizona plate signed by Mad Bum, my license plate. Have I shown that to everybody? I don't know where it is. It's somewhere in my closet here. But I got in February of 2020, I went down to the Diamondback spring training and had Mad Bum sign my plate that I had on my vehicle. And it says Arizona, it says Mad Bum, Arizona Diamondback special plate. I ended up taking it off because it's signed with a Sharpie in black, and I didn't want the Arizona sun to kill it and fade it out. So I was hoping that they would win a World Series with him and he would be another hero, and then that license plate would be worth maybe several $1,000s as a
well, if they had made a World Series, you could pretty much guarantee they would have won it.
Yeah. But
the way that guy pitches.
So Posey did have kind of he really didn't know at that point, because at that point, COVID, everything got shut down and they made it. But I did a ton of research on all that stuff, and I kind of saw right through it personally from not day one, but pretty close to day one. I was really suspicious of what was going on. Niners had just lost the Super Bowl. Exactly. The first week of February. That was just going on. And then, I got it. That's right. That's right. What else we got in here? Yeah, why are we dwelling on this? Everyone wanted him traded at the deadline. He should have been traded. Giants were going nowhere with him. It's like they should have traded Rodon. And this year, Robbie Ray. And we'll see what happens. So it's going to be interesting with the Giants in the offseason. The managerial search should get pretty crazy. I don't know when it's going to happen. If it's going to happen in, here in the near future, between the championship series and the World Series, after the World Series, we'll see. Yeah, could have traded.
Who do you think that San Diego hires as a manager?
Great question. I would think San Diego would go after. I think Atlanta's going to go after Mark DeRosa. I could see San Diego going after Mark DeRosa. I think AJ Preller. I wonder if he'd take a 1 to 2 year run on a Joe Madden. He's 71, if Joe Madden would want to come back. Padres are in a win now mode. They have to win it within the next year to two.
I think it'll be one of two people. And they're both former catchers. And one of them played for San Diego. And
you think it's Bruce Bochy?
One of them managed San Diego.
Bruce Bochy?
Yep. 2 years.
Finish up his career as a Padre?
Yep. Bring him back, right the ship. And if it's not him, there's another San Diego catcher that is getting a lot of talk right now in the manager hunt. The Giants are talking about him a lot.
Another San Diego catcher, Hundley?
Yeah. One of those two guys.
Interesting. San Diego does make sense for Bochy, as NorCal Sports Talk Live says. It does make a lot of sense. Truth Hurts. Wilkie says David Ross. Oh, did I answer his question earlier? What was his? Didn't he answer a question? Did he ask a question? Did we answer that? Oh, yeah. Dan, do you think we need a salary system? I hope we do, even if there is no 27 season. This Dodger team has 4 to 5 number one starters. Well, I think if the Dodgers win it all again, the talk gets louder. Even though, if you look at the teams like Seattle and Milwaukee that are in the Final Four, they aren't big spenders. So the argument from the Players Association would be, well, what do you need a salary cap for? These two competed just because the Dodgers were able to pull it off. Teams with half their salary or way less than half, were right there with them. And that's going to be the argument. But yeah. I think a lot of times
it actually probably matters if the Dodgers, if it's competitive, or if the Dodgers steamroll everybody and they just 6 more games and out, then maybe their argument for the cap is better.
Oh, if the Dodgers win it, the noise will get louder, and the owners are going to want to put it in. They're going to say, no, this isn't right. And then you're going to have, a vote. Anyway, Kyle says Bochy lives there in the San Diego area. He does. I didn't think he'd ever come back to San Francisco after him and Sabian got run out of town after making the Giants filthy rich. Yeah. They did run both of them pretty much out of town. And I know there's some people that will disagree with that are part of the Giants insiders, as they like to say, Giants insiders. They think it's not in any way run out. But if you happen to catch Brian Sabian on the Larry Krueger show with Ned Colletti, maybe 2 years ago now, roughly, Brian pretty much said so.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't feel welcome anymore and said he'd never go back. So I think some of these, I think if you're looking to give credit to the Giants, winning ways. Hold on here. Let me look it up. Let me see here. The big owners was Bill Newcomb. You got to give a ton of credit to Bill Newcomb and to Peter McGowan. And you got to give credit. He was wanting to win, and he wanted to spend more money, Newcomb. And they won titles, and they knocked him out, and they replaced Newcomb with Larry Baer. And so I think you have to look at Bill Newcomb. I think is it the Deans? Is that their last name? They were big owners, the Deans, or was it San Francisco Giants owners? Susan and hold on, let me look them up. The big owner was Burns, not Sue Burns, not Dean. Charles Johnson was a significant owner at one point, but he basically wasn't a big owner in the beginning. He just took over the shares when the Burns, I think it was Harmon Burns, got sick, and they sold part of his shares, and Charles Johnson bought those up, and then he bought more up when Sue Burns got sick. And they were the big owners, the Burns, and they were really into the club. She was always there cheering the team on. They were instrumental. It was the Burns and Newcomb and Peter McGowan. It was his vision that got everybody together. And the guy that's really probably the chief responsible for screwing up the organization is Larry Baer. Larry Baer has single-handedly screwed up the Giants organization. And then the Johnsons came in, and they're all, they're not willing to put a ton of money into it. So, it was Larry Baer that was the guy that brought in Farhan and ran out Sabian.
Yeah, but isn't Larry Baer just doing what the owners say? The big money guys?
Probably, but, it's just, I just don't think, I don't think a whole lot of them personally. I think he's kind of a big blowhard personally.
He's just a salesman. He'll just say whatever he's got to say, toe the company line, and try and, sell it with the fans that are paying the money.
Yeah. Yep. George Kerr. Yeah. He's Larry Baer is just, he's just, yeah. He's yeah. Phillips says he's not buying the Dodgers having a top 3 farm system. Will Smith is the only player worth his salt that's contributing at all. Something is not right. Yep. Always follow. I bet you there's a money trail between some of these Major League Baseball or minor league reporting agencies that rank prospects. How are the Dodgers have 8 top 100 prospects? And tell me any of these prospects that actually turn out to be top players. Like probably one of the only players that's actually decent ball player out there that was in the Dodgers system that's playing right now is Michael Busch of the Cubs. And he's not a superstar. He's a good player. But name me a bunch of Dodger players that are out there that have been all these great minor leaguers, like Diego Cartaya. He's in the Giants system now. He was like the number 1 ranked prospect for the Dodgers and one of the top ranked prospects in all of baseball. The guy, gets traded to, can't remember if it was Minnesota or somebody, but he's been released. He's no good. How about Kelbert Ruiz that goes to Washington? What has he ever done? Kelbert Ruiz and who was also in that trade that went to Washington that brought them Trey Turner and Max Scherzer. They gave away Kelbert Ruiz and a pitcher, and I can't remember his name now.
Josiah Gray.
Yeah, I was going to say Gray. Yeah, it had a colored name, and I couldn't remember if it was green or gray. Yeah, Gray. I wanted to say green, but it's Gray. Yeah, what has Josiah Gray done? Nothing. What has Jeter Downs and Alex Verdugo done for Mookie Betts? It's ridiculous what the Dodgers farm system, all these guys that are hype, and none of them are that good. And I'm telling you, I think there's an in with baseball that guys are getting paid to rank these guys under the table. Something's going on. You can't have 8 top 100 prospects and none of them turn out to be good, above average baseball players in the major leagues. I would say Michael Busch, I don't know what his numbers look like, but he's probably, I bet he's above 100 WRC. Let me look him up. Michael Busch.
Right.
He might be.
While you do that, I'm going to go get my tinfoil so I can make a hat. Be right back.
All right. And then when you get back, we're going to close out too. So, yeah.
I'm back. I'm just joking.
Oh, okay. Michael Busch. B-U-S. Yeah. Okay. Let's check out his numbers with the Cubs this year. He had a OPS of 866, very solid, 261. That's pretty decent today. 34 home runs. Michael Busch, he's got to have a pretty good WRC plus, right? With those numbers. WRC, come on, give me. I need. OPS plus is what it is with Baseball America's fan graphs. It's WRC 147. Very solid. That's an all-star. That's an all-star season. Okay, Michael Busch. There you go. That's the one guy that actually has had an all-star type season. That was a former Dodger, so-called top prospect. There we go. So, all right, guys. Great show tonight. Appreciate you. Let me see how many likes we got right now. I always got to get the likes up there. I got to go onto my phone because I can't see it on here. So give me a sec while I pull this up.
While he's looking up the likes, everybody who hasn't hit like yet, just hit that like right now.
Yeah, see if you can beat me to it.
Get it done early.
Okay. We have 39 likes, 41. All right. Let's see if we can get that to 50. That would be sweet. Everybody on your way out or
there's 42.
There you go. Get those likes up. It helps push the show out to more people, which helps people know more about NorCal Sports Network. There we go. Philip says, thanks, Dan and Dallas. And to the trolls, all the trolls, it's all good fun at Epicura. Great talking to you, bro. I live in Oakland, too. All right. Let's everybody sing Kumbaya now as we close out this. Everybody in the chat, let's get along. Yeah. George Curry, as always, thank you. Appreciate it. Van Poppel. Is that a prospect? Wasn't he with the A's? Oh, yeah. The A's had 3 first-round pitchers. I think none of them panned out. It's tough. Baseball. Yeah, Ryan, there you go. Ryan Pepio with Tampa Bay. He's decent. I'll give you that. Dun, 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 dun. That's football.
That's all we can play.
Yeah, a lot of them don't pan out. Exactly. I know. I've looked at the Giants' number 1 draft picks. In fact, we're going to have to talk about that some night about Bryce Eldridge. How is he? Yeah. Anthony Bear is a slime ball. The whole dude's hand is he's slimy. Yep, there we go. Yeah, don't sell out just to be a kiss butt for the Giants. Can't do that. I won't do it. I'm not going to lower my standards and start talking up the Giants greatly when they don't deserve it. When they do, I'll be the first to admit it. All right? I'll be supporting them. I was supporting them this year. I thought they would win 86 games. I thought it was there, but I'm not going to be fooled twice. I'm going to look at this offseason and see what they do with the pitching staff. Because you come back with similar pitching and not enough depth, and you have all these hitters that you think, that ain't going to do it. Because the pitching will wear out. So for Dallas.
Will be an interesting offseason for sure.
Yep. We're going to have a little silence for about 5 to 10 seconds while the music gets started. All right. See, if I talk right away when I put that music on, everybody says they can't hear me. So, anyway, yeah. So that is what is going on. Heroku, adios. Mark Gray's Bears hands weren't slimy that one time with his wife. Oh, below the belt shot coming in. I love it. All right. Let's see. All right, tomorrow night we've got one game on tap. Giants. I wish. Dodgers, Brewers, game 2. And that game starts tomorrow night at what? 5:08 or 6:08? We're going to get to it right now. 5:08. So we'll be on tomorrow night, 8:15-ish, 8:30, right around there. Have a great night, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow. And don't forget to hit that like button on the way out. Take care. Goodbye!